Hi, guys. It's an interview day today, which you know I'm always excited about. And I have this gorgeous inside and out guest. I'm so excited to bring her on and introduce her to you. Her name is Julie Blouin, and she's from Canada, as I am. But right now, she comes to us from Costa Rica. And this is one of the things that I love so much about Julie is she's following her heart. She's going where she's called to go. And I have no doubt she's bringing the sunshine to Costa Rica as opposed to the other way around. But we're so blessed to have her on today. And it's like we're having a bit of internet issue just because jungle and, you know, second world country, I guess. But we're both game. We're just, she sometimes might be a little blurry. We were experiencing a tiny bit of lag, but I think we're going to be okay. And we both know, as Julie says, that whatever happens will be perfectly imperfect. So, just as a quick background, and I'm reading Julie's words here, she is a certified professional coach and a leading voice in the personal development industry with over 20 years of experience. I'm not going to go through her full bio, but she is a widely recognized expert in the field of empowerment, mindset, gratitude, and business coaching. And she works with individuals and corporations. I'm just going to leave that right there because I know that who this woman is speaks for itself, and you will love her energy, you will love her wisdom. And I just don't want to keep you waiting anymore. So I'm going to bring her right on now. And here she is, Julie Blouin.
Hi. Thank you so
Welcome.
much for having me on. Thank you.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. I'm really excited. And I can see even now, for those of you that are not watching and you're listening, she's a little blurry, but the beauty and the shiny radiance comes right through. So it almost doesn't matter. Okay, you can hear me all right? You can
Yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you. It's perfect.
Okay, amazing. So if we do have a little bit of lag, guys,
I can
just
hear
bear
you.
with us. All right, perfect. So another thing to mention is you are a three-time best-selling, international best-selling co-author, and I love the name of the most recent book, which is A Journey of Riches: Messages from the Heart. You know that like messages from the heart is what I'm all about. So do you want to tell everyone about that, if just to start off?
Yeah, sure. That's the last one that was published, Messages from the Heart. However, the last one that I wrote was called Live with Passion. So it basically
Yes.
talks about my journey leaving Canada and coming to Costa Rica. And it's about living a life of purpose and just following your heart and just so many people are stuck in a job they don't enjoy or that is not benefiting their soul. So it's just about finding your purpose and just going for it and living a life of passion. So that one, I finished co writing that one. I was struggling with too many words. There was too many things that I wanted to say in that
Oh,
chapter. There was too many words,
you
but
had to distill an
I did hand
entire.
that in, and
Okay. Yes, an entire
yeah,
story about
but
living
I
with
did hand that
passion.
in, and that's
Good. Sorry, there's a lag. Go ahead.
I had so much to say. I have so much to say about that living with passion. Life is so beautiful when you're leading with love. So it was hard to
Oh,
condense.
yes. Well, that's why we have you on. You're just such a perfect guest for leading with love because you embody that. You do that every day. I've seen it over and over and over in your posts and everything that you share. You beam out that concept of leading with love and following your heart and living with passion. So let's give you the opportunity here then to speak all the things. You just gave us an overview, obviously, but like just dive into that a bit more because now you have time and it doesn't have to be condensed. So, what would you like to share about that? There's a lag. We're good.
I feel like people need to it, I feel like people need to just lead with love and they need to open their hearts and whatever they're passionate about, they need to figure out what that passion is. So many people actually work a job they don't really enjoy just simply so they can pay the bills, right? Pay for their house, pay for bills, pay for food. But what people need to do is they need to figure out what they're passionate about and just go for it. That's what people need to do. So many people know what they don't want to do in life, right?
Mm.
But they don't know what sparks a fire within their soul. So they need to really go for it. They need to figure it out. And in the book, I talk about different steps to just figure that out, to be
Okay.
clear on what you're passionate about or where your purpose is in life and to just go for it.
Actually, this was that's really beautiful, obviously, all of it. And again, just forgive me, I'm playing around with cameras and stuff for those watching just to see what we can do in terms of lag and but whatever. You're just so beautiful. And what you said about knowing what we don't want is such actually it's a really great jumping off point. I remember years ago when I was in a job that I hated and I wrote a list out of what I hated about it, why I was miserable, what I didn't like. It was like cubicle, have to be there, all these things. And then I didn't know what I wanted, but I just wrote out the opposites. Okay, there's lots of sunlight, I can come and go as I please. I am beholden only unto myself and things like that. And that's how I got into real estate, which now, I have other things, this and purpose, but it's actually a beautiful starting point, as you said, to figure out what you do want. So this is something that you help people do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so beautiful when you're living a life of passion. And the thing is that what we focus on the most expands. So every day, if we're going into work and we don't like our job and we're always focusing on the clients, they're so negative, or my boss is this and that, and
Isn't
they're focusing on
that?
everything going wrong in the world, well, guess what? That's going to expand. So they need to shift the mindset and focus on what they enjoy about their life and what they enjoy about their job. And if they don't enjoy that job, they need to find a side business or a hobby or a passion and start doing that. And then eventually earn income doing what it is that you love doing. Because if you choose a job that you love doing, it's never going to feel like you're actually working. You're just going to be following your passion. And if you can, find a way to make income doing what it is that you love, then, you can travel the world and you can just,
If
just
that's
be
what you
free and
want,
live your
right?
life.
Exactly. I mean, that's what we want, but maybe someone wants to stay home with their children
Mm.
or, whatever it is they want to do. For us, it's definitely traveling the world and freedom and joy and all of those things. Um, you said something really important that I just wanted to touch on, which was appreciate using the job as an example, appreciate what there is to appreciate about that current job. And I think a lot of people get stuck there. I know experientially from my own coaching and mentoring and things over the years, and from my own self, that people can think that if you focus on what you're grateful for at a job that you hate, it's like, oh, I'm going to stay there. I'm saying it's okay and it's going to actually keep this job in my life, but that's not how it works. It does improve the experience, but it also segues you out into something else that has more of that. Would you agree?
Absolutely. There's always something to be grateful for in a job. There always is. So when you reframe the obstacle or when you reframe something that you don't really enjoy, it's so important. That way you can stay centered and stay focused within your heart space. There is always either a lesson to be learned or you're developing those competencies needed in life, maybe patience
Mm,
because someone was rude to you, or
yeah.
you're developing determination, or you're developing like all different skills that are needed focused on your goals. Or maybe the job that you're doing, you really don't enjoy it, so it's going to push you to do something else and to follow your passion. It's going to give you that courage and that determination to just go for it and say, I've had enough. But
Right.
when you reframe it and you find something positive in it, it's so important. That way you're able to see clearly and just move forward and not stay focused in negativity. It's so important.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. So it's like on one hand, can you hear me okay? It's such a funny
I
thing,
can hear you.
technology.
It's a
Okay,
little bit
awesome.
lagging, but
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. If it gets really bad, guys, we'll start again another time. But for now, we're just, like we said, we're totally willing to go for it. Using you said a couple of beautiful things. You said so many beautiful things, but the two that stood out for me that I think would be really valuable for people again is using the negativity, so to speak, not to impact you and affect your nervous system, but rather to be a catalyst or a push to something better, a push to, like you said, follow your passion, discover what you do want. So if there is something coming at you that feels toxic or, negative or like it's not supporting you, okay, well, what does it look like, so I can focus on, what I really do love about this job. I love the salary, I love the money that's coming in, and it helps support me to buy beautiful food and clothes for my kids or whatever it is, or travel with, for us it's like that's literally what I get to go to Hawaii, because I may not love every aspect of the work that I still do at times. I love this. I love this. I love this, right? But it's a bridge. It's a support system for the things that I do love. And that's what I do when I'm focusing on what I love about what I do and the people and my team and things like that. Instead of, oh, I have to be somewhere and I don't like trudging around in the cold at showings and all of that stuff. Like, there's no point focusing on that stuff, right? What do I love? And then what does that push me towards? I want to do more of this. Julie wants to be in Costa Rica and have amazing internet. Yeah, it's so funny with the
at
delays.
least there's electricity today.
I know. You know what? Okay, so guys, Julie mentioned, and I have too, that she's in Costa Rica and she has had so many challenges. Okay, like she's not kidding. She had no electricity last week, and look at the smile on this woman's face. She doesn't just pay lip service to this whole mindset and focus and um, positivity, because I think sometimes that can feel like almost toxic positivity when you don't understand that a person has been through the fire and a person has challenges, because we all do. And it's how you face those and what you focus on that brings that smile to your face no matter what. Correct?
Do you want me do you want me to elaborate a little bit on
Yes,
my
I want you to
experience in Costa
elaborate.
Rica? Would your
Yes,
viewers enjoy that?
yes. Because look at your smile.
Okay.
You're the
So
living
it's
proof of what you teach.
yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I just to go back to what we were saying a while ago, it's so important to focus on positivity and not the toxicity or not the negative aspects happening, right? Things are not happening to you. We always have to reframe it and say, this is happening for you. There's always a lesson to be learned in everything. So we have to reframe it and stop saying, this is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? No, this is happening for you. There is something to learn. So, what's a lesson to be learned? So, let's talk about Costa Rica because
The
I
floor is all
cannot
yours.
make this stuff up.
I know. All right, go,
So,
Julie, go.
yesterday we lost electricity twice during the day, and then I have my internet is also battery operated. So if you lose
Oh.
electricity, you also have internet. But yesterday I had no electricity, no water, and no internet all at once. I actually filmed it. And then I went, wow, like
Wow.
the, so I try to find the message in it. And it was about surrender. You need to surrender to things you have no control over,
Mhm.
right? Just be in the flow, just surrender. And I've learned about patience, I've learned about determination. I've cried also, and I've tried to switch my flight back to Canada, but it was almost impossible and 5 times the price. But I've always been successful at reframing. The thing is, in Costa Rica, when the power goes out, and I'm just going to be honest, it could last hours. It could last 4 hours. This week, I was doing an interview with a guest. It was on Zoom in front of an audience in my in our Rick and myself. It's we have a level up membership group, and we were interviewing someone, and right before the interview, the power goes out. A monkey climbed on the line, the power line,
Ah!
and then
Oh my
and then
gosh.
I heard an explosion. And then we lost power for 4 hours. But I can't make that
Oh.
stuff up, and it's not predictable. So you have to find a way to stay strong, stay positive, pivot, find a solution. There's always a solution, but it
Yes.
does take its toll. You have to keep smiling. You have to keep pushing forward, regardless of obstacles. Reframe it. And like I said, those things are not happening to you, they're happening for you. Find the lesson. There's always
So
something
what
to
was
be
the lesson
positive
in that? The
for.
surrender?
Yeah, I feel like I need to control things, control the
Mm.
outcome, or just that everything needs to be so perfect. But everything is far from being perfect in Costa Rica, because every single day there are things that happen. And it's about surrender to things you have no control over, and just go with the flow and just lead with love. Open up your heart. And if it's perfectly imperfect, show up. That's all
Yes.
you need to do, is just
Yes.
show up. Like today, it's perfectly imperfect. I'm in
Exactly.
the jungle. It
Yeah.
seems like it's lagging, but,
It is
but we're
lagging.
still showing up.
Yes, we are,
But
and
we're
it's like
showing up. We're
it's so
here.
blurry and you're still so beautiful. It just is what it is, right? It's definitely lagging, and I'm still thinking about that poor monkey. Like, who knows what happened to the monkey? I mean, do we know?
We don't know.
We don't
People
know.
are saying maybe he got electrocuted, because sometimes they do
Oh.
that. They climb the lines. Oh,
Oh, oh my gosh. That's just, you know what? That was such a beautiful story. And, sometimes, you know what it brings up for me too is that we can complain about the silliest things. Like you realize when you're where in a place like where you are and you're given the opportunity to surrender over and over and over and just be present and be grateful for whatever you can be grateful for. And when you get that hot water running again, that, versus, oh, I don't like my sandwich today, or they didn't serve me fast enough, or, my phone isn't doing something I want it to. Like the silliest things that we get to complain about because we are not in survival mode in this world. When you really look at it, it's pretty ludicrous, or someone didn't treat me the way I
exactly. And
wanted
it's
them to.
important.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's important. You said something really good about not being in survival mode. No, we have to live our life and stop being in survival mode. We need to live, we need to thrive, and not simply survive. So many people are simply surviving, and that's what's holding them back. We need to thrive, we need to lead with love, we need to open our hearts and just go for it.
I see you have
So,
some catchphrases that are really important to you, and one of them I appreciate is leading with love and opening your heart, because I totally, wholeheartedly, every pun intended, agree with that, because I've touched on this elsewhere many times, but an open heart is so powerful. It feels, I think, to those who don't want to open their hearts as scary or weak and vulnerable, but an open heart is the most powerful. I was going to say tool, but it's not. It's like it's a resource, it's a tool, it's a way of being that changes everything. It's like it sheds light quite literally on your whole life, on your connections with people, on, doors that may have been closed if you were just trying to have conversations kind of in that 3D physical figure it out energy. Whereas with your open heart, I guarantee you, because I know you know this and I've experienced it countless times, it just it changes things. It changes interactions. It impacts people. It, like I said, it opens doors that would have remained closed had you just been linear. Does that make sense? I know it does to you.
it does. It's so important to do that. And I don't know why people are reluctant to do that. Sometimes it could be from their childhood, or some of their friends are just growing up, or their past relationships. But we need to live in the present moment and not fall back on the past. And we need to relearn and just move forward with confidence, knowing that,
Mm.
we're not the person we were before. So it's so important to just live in the present moment and ground ourselves in the present moment. It's so, so important.
You keep saying things that I want to touch on, and then I lose them because I'm present too. And I'm just like, oh, that, but I'm not grabbing them fast enough because I'm just so present with you also. And I love how much you live that. Everything that you say, we have to. This is so important too. It's you're exemplifying what you teach. And I'll say that again. What you are is what you teach. It's not just lip service, it's the embodiment of what you're saying. You just Costa Rica being an example, but even in your words, there's the beautiful sun. Um, when you talk about mindset a lot, and you the way we speak, the words we say, they demonstrate what's in our mind. They demonstrate what our thoughts are, right? They don't just come out randomly. And you say, we have to do this. It's important to do this. Like you're demonstrating your mindset of living with passion. You're so passionate about that, follow your heart and do the things that are calling to you. And these are my words now, but, lead with love. The way that I'm just trying to express that the way that you're saying it is so solid. It's like obvious that you walk your talk. I'll say that.
I do. I do. I don't pretend that it's easy to reframe and have a positive mindset all the time. It's not easy, but there's three things I teach people to do: positive mindset, growth mindset, and abundance mindset. Those three things are so important. And I never pretend that it's easy. It's not. And I always show my struggles and obstacles
Yeah.
and how I'm able to reframe them so that they're empowering. I lead by example. I'm not going to show someone how to do something if I haven't walked through it myself. When you're
Exactly.
leading by example, you can show people how to do different things, but it's not easy, and I understand, but we manifest instantly whether we believe in manifestation or not. We do. And we can manifest positive things, or we can manifest more struggles and obstacles. So we have to be mindful of our thoughts because they do manifest into reality.
Right. And struggles and obstacles do show up. This is life, right? But we are also manifesting um how things play out, whether it's with ease, whether it's with peace, whether it's with gratitude, whether we're surrendering into it or we're resisting it and feeling awful and being ungrateful. Like there's so much choice in every moment. And I don't think we know that people haven't been taught that you get to choose. You get to choose what you think, and it becomes a habit. That's where your mindset work is so powerful.
Exactly. And we need to release those trapped emotions. So if there's an emotion that you're feeling, feel that emotion with
Yeah.
all of your heart and release it. And if you have to scream, scream. If you have to hit a punching bag, then hit that punching bag, if whatever you need to do to release that trapped emotion of pain, suffering, sadness, release
Hmm.
it. Release all of
Yes.
it and then focus on something more empowering.
Yeah. See, this is another thing when we were talking about being grateful for what is good at your job. It's the same principle as feeling your feelings because people resist the things they don't want to feel. And yet, without feeling it, you actually can't release it, as you said. And so, the resistance is lying to you. It's saying, oh, I can't handle that. I don't want to feel that. But actually, it just perpetuates it and keeps it there toxically in your body and prevents you from this open, expansive feeling of joy that naturally bubbles up once you have cried that out or pounded that pillow or, punched that punching bag. God, people hold on to so much. And I love that you don't. That's where presence comes from.
Exactly. And just the fact that I'm out here in Costa Rica in the beautiful tropical jungle of Costa Rica where there's monkeys and, it's sunny all day, every day, except during the raining season. I I don't pretend it's easy. There are obstacles and
Right.
struggles, and it doesn't matter where you live in the world. It doesn't matter.
It
Nothing is
doesn't.
perfect. It
Such
doesn't.
a
There's
great
always going to be
lesson.
obstacles and struggles.
Yeah, because I think perfection is something that we're taught to pursue, and it keeps a lot of people really unhappy. Instead of just enjoying this experience, this adventure, all the things, and feeling what needs to be felt, and letting it go, and then enjoying the next moment. And you're so good at that. This is such a beautiful conversation. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, Julie and I have not met yet, but I guarantee you that we will. Not only are we from the same place, but we have the same, I'm looking for words. I was going to say heart, but it's about following your heart. I'm drawn to Hawaii, as most of you probably know, and she's drawn to Costa Rica, but the essence is very, very similar of I want to go where my heart feels at home. I want to go where I feel the sun on my skin and, the beautiful tropical air. And I know that a lot of people have said to me, in people close to me included, that's a vacation. That's not life. Like what all they're showing me is that's their belief. That has nothing to do with what I get to manifest, what I get to create. I go to Hawaii as often as possible and stay there as long as I can. Right now I have responsibilities, I have things to do, which I appreciate because they support that, right? My being where my heart belongs. But there is no part of me that's saying I can't do that. There's only me that says, how can I do that more? It's a very different thing than, oh, that's just a vacation. No, we get to do, we're manifestors. Like you said, we're creative, we're creators.
Yeah, everyone can actually manifest and create the life they want to live. The problem with that is so many people do not know what they want to create in life. When I ask someone what makes you happy, they don't know what makes them happy. I'm like, what fuels your heart? What
It's too
makes
late.
you so happy and brings joy to your life? And they don't know the answer to that. The problem is that in school, we've never been shown how to be creative. In school, we've been shown how to memorize
Yes.
things and answer questions.
And follow the
We've never been
rules.
shown to tap into our, yeah, exactly. We've never been shown to tap into our passion, our skills, abilities, and to be creative with it. So that's where
Yes.
people, it's not their fault. It's not their fault if
No.
they're not living their best life, in the sense that they've never been shown how to tap into that creative side and figure out what it is that they want to do with their life. If they feel that the way that we're living, with Hawaii and Costa Rica, that it's a vacation, well, that's just their mindset. It's because anyone can do anything that they want in the world. It's just they need to get clear on what it is that they want to achieve. And when I look at your posts online, I just feel like I'm seeing a reflection of me. You sound
Because
like
you are.
me. So sometimes I read because I read your post and I'm like, you're so beautiful. And I see your inner beauty and just the way you write and just everything that you post. Everything is so beautiful and magical and it comes from the heart. And I just see that in you. And it's as if I'm seeing a reflection of myself. That's why I know that one day we'll meet for sure.
Yeah. Well, you are because that's just life force coming through, right? I'm just the vessel. I've said this before. I've done enough inner work that I'm clean and clear. And when sadness or grief or anger comes up, I feel it. I don't tell stories about it. And then it washes through. I don't even release it. I do, but it washes through. So I'm sharing what's here to be shared, which is life force, which is love, which is light, which is beauty, um, which is just, I don't know. That's what we're here to share. And I think what you said before about, people dimming their light, you're shining yours. And I am not afraid or ashamed to say anymore that I'm also shining mine because we were given this light. We were given this light. We all have it. And if we don't shine it, how are we supposed to help others ignite theirs? and catalyze that awakening in others if we're not fully owning that you guys were made of light. Love is the answer. Open-heartedness is going to get you everything that your soul and heart desires. But oh my gosh, you said so many beautiful things. And thank you for your kind words. But you and I both know it's not me. It's not. I appreciate that. Um, no, that's not true. The human that I am has stepped up, right? To own and share what I was given to own and share. But for you, when you're asking people, that was a really important point that you made. So we aren't taught as children, unless we're very lucky that we have parents who, nurture that creativity and don't put us in school or show us that we are powerfully creative manifestors. But that's where someone like you comes in. So we all grow up. We don't know. We don't even know what lights up our hearts. Like we literally, most people don't even know you, because when you ask someone what they want to achieve, the question isn't usually what brings you joy, like you said. And these are the questions that you need to start with as a base for then what do you want to achieve, given what brings you joy. You said that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because in school, we're just taught to fill out a resume and get a job, work 9 to 5. But if someone is not passionate about getting a job and working 9 to 5, they need to figure
Shocking.
out what's they need to figure out what they enjoy doing. My son, he's a teenager and he's very fit. He eats healthy and he's a race car driver. And at school, he's been racing cars since the age of 8. And at school, he's very fit and he used to win all the awards for different things um, um, like in sports. And people would always be wondering why he's got different goals and skills and abilities, and he's really tuning into what he wants to do and what he's passionate about in life. But that also comes from your parents.
Yeah. Look who his
People,
mama is.
yeah, kids they don't listen to our words. They mimic what we do. They're like little sponges and they take a look and they absorb everything that we're doing. So although they pretend that they're not looking and they don't know what we're doing in life and what our career is,
Woo!
they're sponges. My son sometimes coaches me. He says different things. Where does he get that from? It's just he's mimicking, he's just reflecting back exactly what he's getting from his environment. So
Right.
it's so important to lead by example, and because our kids will um, they'll respond to it and they'll mimic exactly who we are. uh, our actions, they speak so much louder than words. I never told my son what to do when he was little. I never said, go take a shower, go take your bath, go brush your teeth, because it would always be no. I would
Yeah.
give him an option. Do you want to take a shower or a bath? Which would you like to do? Those
Right.
were the two options. It was never telling
Smart.
him what to do.
Right.
I always gave him choices and the opportunity to make those choices. So then I never had to argue with him about washing.
Beautiful. That's such
I
a
always gave him
simple.
choices.
Yeah, I love that. You just gave me such a gift, Julie. Um, my beautiful daughter, she loves adventure, and you just brought something full circle for me that I didn't realize until just this moment. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes.
Um, I'm looking at her two different families. Like her dad's family, they tend to, she's probably gonna be mad at me for saying this, but it's okay. It's just influence. You're right. It's influence. They are scared of things. Like I can remember her nonna, her grandmother, one time we were wanting to go on a boat because my dad has had many boats, and she was scared. And it's okay. Like that's fine. But I'm realizing those influences really mattered because my side of the family, like I fly planes. Her grandpa flies planes. I ride my motorcycle. I go scuba diving. I go to travel all the time. And she grew up with pilots and travel. And so that's who she is. She hurt herself a few weeks ago skiing in Whistler. And I mean, this girl is she's amazing. We moved out to BC, or she did, we did. And she's, it's a very different thing skiing in Ontario, tiny little hills, to skiing on Whistler, giant, huge mountain that people fly from all over the world to ski on. And she hurt herself badly. And I can't say a thing to her, not
Mm.
a thing, because I don't want her not to ski, because she was in her joy. She was in her happy place. She was having fun. She was having an adventure. And how many times have I said to her, and my dad has said to me, if I die flying, if I die scuba diving, if I die on my motorcycle, just know that the last thing out of my mouth was woohoo, because I was living with passion. I was living every second I've got. And I am never, that really touches my heart. I'm never going to tell her not to do that. She said, Mom, what? Like, for a second, I was like, Jacqueline, be careful. She's like, you of all people are saying that to me. And I just realized what you said. It's that influence of demonstration, not just speaking words.
Yeah, and it's so important. Like you just said something really good about not telling, for instance, someone what to do. It's just in coaching is the same thing. I never tell people what they need to do in their life. It's just about taking them from point A to point B. And it's the same thing with my son. He's got free will. He can live his own life. I don't need to tell him what to do. It's just simply, I'm here. I show him and I give him the tools he needs to succeed in life. It's for him to tap into those tools and those skills and abilities to succeed. Everyone has those skills and abilities to succeed. You just need to tap into those skills and abilities that you
Yes.
have. Figure out what it is that you're good at. Never focus on the things that you're not good at. Always focus on what you're good at, and then you'll
Mm-hmm.
you'll excel. It's going to be
Yeah.
so amazing. It's just like us today. I know it's a bit distracting, the fact that it's lagging, and
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be perfectly imperfect because it's lagging on both sides, I feel. But you know what? When we do meet, we could re-record this in the same place. Who knows? This is
But we'll be
this is
totally
such a
different by
good
then.
message, and we're
Yeah.
showing up. For
Yeah.
yeah.
If
We
we
will
ever,
be.
yeah, exactly. We'll be different. Our two places will be different. And it'll be a whole new conversation because we don't stay stagnant because we know that life flows. And you spoke to something that's really important too in terms of coaching, in terms of parenting, is not rescuing people, not telling them what to do because that never works, right? But rather empowering, igniting that spark, being the guide or the mentor that just, walks them along the path, but they're making the decisions because that's the only way it gets inside, right? It's that when it comes from you and you're like, oh, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, Julie's holding my hand. She's calling me forth, but you're not telling them because we are sovereign. We are powerful. So to treat anyone as anything less than that is it's an insult and a disservice to how powerful they are.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for you
And
to hear.
even coaches need coaches. And I say this all the time. I say this all the time. Even coaches need coaches in life to, so that someone else can help you identify those blind spots so you can level up your life and just become that amazing person. So I feel like everyone needs a coach. And it's not about telling someone what to do. Everyone has life lessons to learn. It's
Yeah.
about guiding them and holding their hand. But if they don't want to do the work, and if they have more life lessons to learn, well, when you go down that hill, or when you plunge down and you fall, well, I'll be here to pick up those pieces, and then you can learn another life lesson and just grow from it, because you're going to develop those competencies needed, right? But I won't be there to do the work for someone.
Right.
I can be there and provide the tools, but
Yeah.
they need to want to improve their life. So
And you're holding the space for them, and you're holding, I'm assuming, the energy of who they said they wanted to be, even if they can't fully see that yet. If someone's in your coaching container, I'm assuming that they've declared something. They may not fully see it yet, but they've said, I'm not happy here. Things need to change. I want to learn more about myself. I want to know what I can do. And you're going to help them do that, and you're holding that essence for them, and 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 pulling them through it. But yeah, unless they're going to lean in, each of us, right? Unless we're leaning into the challenges instead of, you can't have you can't you like you said, you can't do the work for someone, child or client.
And sometimes what happens is that I'm a reflection of them. So sometimes they'll read my post or something I will say and it will trigger them.
Yes.
And then they'll be upset because they get triggered because they don't
Yes.
realize it and don't see it. But I am a reflection of them. And my
Right.
post, if it triggers them, it's because there is a lesson to learn within that post or within what I'm saying. And most often it's going to trigger someone and they're going to say, no, 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 no. And they deflect it back and they say,
Yes.
they deflect it back to the other person as opposed
Yes.
to looking at oneself. It's so important to look at ourselves. It's always, yeah, we hold all the answers and there's always a
Yes.
lesson to learn. We go back to what I said a while ago about obstacles in Costa Rica. It's not, why is this happening to me? It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. What do you have to gain from it? Change your perception, reframe it.
Even if it's just happening, it's still a choice. Like you said, reframe it with surrender. Use it as an opportunity to be who you say you are. I am someone who leans into challenges. I am someone who surrenders and allows things to happen without expectation because I'm trying to control it. I am someone who does this. Like everything is a mirror, everything is an opportunity to continue to be who you say you are or who you want to be. Those people at work that are, you don't like that job and they're unkind to you or disrespectful or whatever, it's an opportunity for you. Everything's an opportunity for us to go inside and open gifts that are there for us that don't look like gifts, that don't feel like gifts in the moment.
But everything is a gift. We just need to reframe it and unwrap those gifts and learn those lessons.
What would you say? I have a 2 point question for you, and I'll let you take it wherever you want to. So, what would you say are some of your most important life lessons, top ones, and what would you say are the ones that you? And I think you've gone over it a little bit. See that clients either need to learn or want to learn. That's a big one, I know.
So, the first thing we need to do is stop toning down who we are. That's the hardest thing, is that we try to fit in with everyone else. We need to stop trying to fit in with everyone else. We just need to shine. We
Yeah.
just need to discover who we are, our authentic self. That is so important. And we need to lean into it and open our heart. I've growing up, I I never did fit in, and I was actually really struggling growing up because I'm an identical twin,
I
and all day every
forgot.
day yeah,
Talk about
and then all day
comparison.
every day
Wow.
people were comparing us. Yeah, and it's difficult when you're growing up as an identical twin, especially someone gorgeous beside you. That's absolutely so beautiful. People always compare you and say, "Oh, who's more beautiful? Who's skinnier? Who's more
Oh.
intelligent? Who's?" They always compare you because society has taught people to compare each other and to put them against each other, right? But it's not. When you have an abundance mindset, there's room for everyone to either make money, to be successful, to shine.
Hmm.
It's just we need to tap into those abilities that we have. We need to stop comparing ourselves to other people and stop toning down who we are and yeah, and just shine. And you know what? Even if we shine a little too bright, some people are going to stop talking to us or following us online, but then they're going to up level their life and they're going to come around and they'll be back. It's just we need to
Yeah.
stop trying to fit in. We need to
You.
say no to the right things, and we need to say yes to the right opportunities. We need to use discernment and to just be very selective into what opportunities you're saying yes to and what opportunities you're saying no to, right? It needs to feel, feed your soul and your passion,
Yes.
or else if it's not, if it's not a definite yes, I'm doing
Exactly.
it, it should be a no.
Yeah, exactly. And oh my gosh, Julie, I mean, you said so much. Yeah, absolutely. And the more authentically you are and know yourself, the more you can feel what those yeses are because it's obvious energetically, right? It's like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah," or no. It's obvious. And the more you follow those, it's like this upward spiral. The more authentic you are, the more the opportunities that come to you are exactly perfect for who you are. If you weren't authentic, how could anything find you? You're not being yourself, right? And what you said about your sister, I forgot. I forgot that you're an identical twin. And how spectacular is it that, I mean, you could not have a more comparison based situation, right? For you to then step into your own uniqueness, using that as a catalyst, growing up, literally having an identical twin beside you and having been compared all the time. To you saying, no, I am this unique being. I want to know what my heart wants. I want to be in Costa Rica. I want to do, like, that is so beautiful. You're not trying to be anybody else, especially the person beside you who happens to look a lot like you and has half of your heart, obviously. Um, that you are so uniquely you that I forgot that you have a twin sister. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
and growing up, thank you. And even growing up, I was trying to find my identity because outside of the dynamic of being an identical twin, I didn't know who I was. I
That
really could not figure
so
it out.
true.
And I I was somewhat annoyed with the fact that people would always compare us to each other every single day. And I would try to educate people and say, please stop comparing people. You know, we are
Wow.
our own individual beings. And I tried to cut my hair really short, um, put it different colors. I had dark hair, red hair, like I had red hair with golden highlights. I had blonde hair, brunette hair. I had long, short, all the different haircuts. I had a tongue ring, a navel ring. I was going to get a tattoo, but I didn't go for it. I was trying to be different, but people would still get us confused because I mean, hair, you can just
Wow.
change the hair, right? So it didn't stop the comparison. So what I was trying to
So
do is I was
interesting.
trying to search for my authentic self outside of myself. So instead of doing the inner work and
Ooh.
building the self-confidence and removing the self-doubt and removing the limiting beliefs that I had that was holding me back from becoming the best version of myself, I was looking at my physical appearance. I was focusing on the outside, wanting
And
to
how
be
others
different
saw
than,
you.
you know, than with another person, my twin sister. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the fact is that I was looking in the wrong place. I wasn't doing the inner work. I wasn't looking, I I wasn't looking in the right spot. So I needed to let go those limiting beliefs. I needed to build that self-confidence and say, you know what? I look alike. I look so much like my twin sister. However, I am unique. I have my own skills and abilities to succeed. And that was so important. And now, even in our 40s now, we look identical. We look the same. We still do, but we're so, so different.
That is so incredible. That is such an incredible gem of a story. And I can see now how much of a, like, how formative that was for you. And thank goodness that you did go inside and turn the mirror on yourself. And yeah, because people could have validated you. If actually that had worked, you wouldn't be who you are today. Because if your hair, your different hair had worked and people had treated you differently, you would have gone down a whole different path. But based on how people saw you and the feedback that you got from people outside of you. Whereas despite your attempts to feel and seem different, it didn't work, right? And so that made you, it was like this, oh, okay, it was an opening for you to then look inside and become who you are now. It's spectacular. That's a great, great story of a lifeline, like a life path, a journey. Really, really fascinating.
Thank you. And also just remembering that we're not in competition with anyone else. We're not. And it doesn't matter if you have a sibling, an identical twin, or anyone else in your life, or anyone on TV,
Right.
social media influencers, anyone. No one is in competition with anyone else. We just have to focus on ourselves. We need to shine our light so, so bright. And the day that I was able to shine my light, then that's when I was able to become confident in who I am. And I love my sister, but we're not in competition. And we don't, I don't say like, oh, keep your hair long or cut it, or no, we look alike because that authentically is who we are, what we resonate with. I love my long hair,
Yeah.
the fact that we both have long hair and we look the same, it's just
It's
us.
just
It's
so
just
you
who we
both
are. It's just
happen
what
to
we
develop.
enjoy and what we love. I
Sorry.
exactly. It's just, it's lagging, I know. It's just
It's
being
okay.
who you are and just being authentically you. That's it.
Beautiful. I just, that's so incredible. I hear, again, I will say, I hear all of the things that you talk about embodied in your speech, embodied in your behavior. You had no electricity yesterday, but you're sitting here showing up with us having lagging internet, and you're sharing your beautiful story and your unique self. You know that there's no comparison, and so you just shine authentically as who you are. Julie Blouin has nothing to do with anyone else. And you said it before, there's room for all of us to shine. There's room for all of us to be successful. That's what abundance is. And by being that example, you're giving permission. We both are, right? For other people to light up, because sometimes
Mhm.
people will say to you, like you said, well, if you shine your light so bright, it's like that tall poppy syndrome, right? You get chopped off, whatever. That's not true. That's a lie. When you shine your light so bright, you're giving permission for other people to know that they have that too, because it feels amazing. And if you don't think that you can do that, if you're scared to just step up and shine, you're robbing the world of the most beautiful gifts of love and connection and everything that you specifically came here to bring. You meaning whoever's watching, listening. Um, your authentic, exact self at its fullest, shiniest, brightest, most embodied is so potent, because we need you. We need your gifts, and it truly is an example that demonstrates what we too can do. It inspires, it ignites. It's just such beautiful energy, and you are that, Julie. Now I'm talking to you again. That is why I have you here. It's why I'm grateful for you. It's why I love you. I stop.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for you and I love you. Even if it's lagging and even if it's not that we're fighting against the elements, you know what? We're embodying perfectly imperfect. And the message is so powerful that it still needs to be out there. And people need to know that just show up, be perfectly imperfect, but be you. Be authentically you and give yourself permission to shine so bright. Because if no one gives themselves permission to shine really bright, where are people going to learn that they can shine and they can be
Exactly.
themselves, right? They need to see it, to have that space to do it themselves.
Right. And think about all the people in this world who just fully went for it, whether they were a rock star or, a poet or a singer or whatever it might be. If someone's half assing it, excuse my English, but if they're just kind of half showing up, but they're not really confident, we're not going to find that compelling as an audience or as another human being, right? We're not going to lean into that and go, what is that? It's not magnetic. It's not charismatic where, woo, I'm getting shivers. The ones that The ones that speak to our souls, whose work pierces our heart and opens it, are the ones who are fully engaged in whatever they are doing. They're showing up, living with passion, like you said, and being everything that they came here to be, whether they're wailing like a rock star or sharing a poem. Like, it just doesn't work to be lukewarm. It's no life, and it's no good demonstration for anybody else, clients, other humans, children, anything. Like, I agree with you. I sound like a valley girl. Like, so anyway, I agree so wholeheartedly. And I love how much you are the living demonstration of that. I love that your book that you're in the middle of, or you just submitted, is Live with Passion, because you do. You're an invitation, you're a walking
Yeah,
invitation.
I want to be that example. I want to
Yeah.
be the person that people can fall back on and to follow my footsteps. And I don't pretend that it's easy. It's not. And I'll show tears and I cry and I keep it real because I want people to see both sides and how to reframe obstacles and how it is
Right.
possible to overcome any obstacle when you keep a positive mindset. It's not going to be easy, but it is possible to succeed regardless of what's happening in the world, regardless of
Mm.
obstacles.
Sorry, I keep shifting. I'm just uncomfortable sitting on the floor. But again, it doesn't matter, right? It's just, it doesn't matter. Um, it's so important what you're sharing about not just the highlight reel. That happens a lot. And if anyone didn't know us, they might be able to accuse us of being toxically positive. I think I said that before. But there's no way, if they even followed us for a day, that would be, they could keep that perception, because we know that we cry probably almost every day, and we feel all the feelings, and we've gone through the fire, and we face very painful challenges and very painful situations. Life, that's not bypassing, that's not spiritual bypassing. It's the joy comes from going through that fire and feeling those feelings and releasing them and not having them in our bodies anymore, and choosing how we frame obstacles and challenges, and choosing our focus, choosing to be solution oriented, choosing love, choosing to keep our hearts open. Like, that is not spiritual bypassing. That is the definition of being spiritual and being in your heart. And like you said, continuing to show up for all that we're worth and be the living demonstration of what is possible when you do that. Kind of putting words into your mouth or reflecting them back in my words.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I actually don't have anything to
I know,
add.
I'm
You
just like,
really,
ah.
I'm speechless.
Well, you know what? That's perfect, because we're probably, let me check the
So
timing here, just like
beautiful.
right about an hour. See, it just ends up wrapping up so beautifully. And I'm sure that we could talk about so much more, and probably will, maybe another time, as you said, when we have better connection. And but just take a look at this woman, you guys, for those who are listening. For those who are listening, okay, and not watching, I have posted Julie's information in the show notes, and you can find her on Facebook, which I highly recommend, because you'll see her beautiful shining face and her signature turquoise necklace that brings out these ridiculously turquoise eyes. But it's not the color of her eyes that speaks to the soul. It's the shininess, it's the joy, it's the presence, it's the showing upness that is just radiant on her face, and her open heart is obvious. And you're a very powerful spirit, Julie, and I can only imagine how lucky your clients are to work with you, because you are powerfully holding space. It's obvious. Um, so I just want to thank you again for not just being here, but for showing up so fully and openly.
Oh,
Flag.
thank you so much. I really appreciate the fact that I'm on your podcast. We're showing up perfectly imperfect, and it's I love it. And the last comment that you said, I was just absorbing it, and I just wanted to sit with that comment. It was just so absolutely beautiful. you have so much wisdom yourself. And when you speak from the heart. And that's why I said everything that you say or everything that you post, it feels like it comes from me as well. So sometimes you're saying things and you give me shivers because it sounds like me. It
Woo!
sounds like I'm like, wow, I just want to absorb this and I just want to feel it and listen to it over. And it's so,
Wow.
so beautiful. You're so amazing and beautiful. I see your inner beauty that is reflecting on the outside. That's what I see. I see your light and it's so
that's
beautiful.
just that's just divinity, right? That's just the truth of what we are. Oh, that's so lovely. Ooh, God, that gives me shivers too. Yeah. So I guess we can close with the world and everybody is a mirror in every way. Whether just observe, right? Whether it's reflecting beauty back to you because that's what you are, or it's reflecting a challenge or resistance. It's just showing you something that's preventing you from being that which you are. So it's all beautiful and it's all a mirror. And I think that's the perfect place to end this for today. Um, so thank you. And as I said, I'll put everything your website and all the stuff, all the beautiful things in the show notes. I'm just going to run my little outro and I will see you momentarily. Okay. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed this episode and it helped you open your heart, feel inspired, and know that we are all connected. Please subscribe and share so this work can touch more people. This is how we co create the world we want to live in. Thank you so much again for joining us, and talk to you next time.